Over the past few years, DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, has been ruled unconstitutional by several courts. And not too long ago, the Obama administration said they were no longer going to defend it. Now, this is not particularly surprising. In fact, the only thing that really should be surprising about it is that this law was passed in 1996, and it took until just a few years ago for any court to rule on its obvious and blatant unconstitutionality. What should be obvious to everyone is that DOMA violates the 14th Amendment's guarantee of equal protection under the laws. You're not allowed to make a law that discriminates against anybody. Now, there are some exceptions to this. If you can show a rational basis for discrimination, then that's sometimes allowed. For instance, if you want to deny driver's licenses to 10-year-olds, that is a form of discrimination for which there is a rational basis. So in these court cases in which DOMA was challenged, those defending it had to show why discriminating against homosexual couples is rational. So they argued that discriminating against gay couples is rational because only a man and a woman can beget a child together, and because historical experience has shown that a family consisting of a married father and mother is an effective social structure for raising children. Now, that may be the case, but just because one particular family form is effective, it does not logically follow that all other family forms are ineffective or even less effective. So that is not a rational basis for discrimination. So in a First Circuit court case, the lawyer defending DOMA identifies four interests which Congress sought to advance through the enactment of DOMA. 1. Encouraging responsible procreation and childbearing. 2. Defending and nurturing the institution of traditional heterosexual marriage. 3. Defending traditional norms of morality. And 4. Preserving scarce resources. In response to this, Judge Joseph Toro argued that this court can readily dispose of the notion that denying federal recognition of same-sex marriages might encourage responsible procreation because the government concedes that this objective bears no rational relationship to the operation of DOMA. Since the enactment of DOMA, a consensus has developed among the medical, psychological, and social welfare communities that children raised by gay and lesbian parents are just as likely to be well-adjusted as those raised by heterosexual parents. But even if Congress believed at the time of DOMA's passage that children had the best chance at success if raised jointly by their biological mothers and fathers, a desire to encourage heterosexual couples to procreate and rear their own children more responsibly would not provide a rational basis for denying federal recognition to same-sex marriages. Such denial does nothing to promote stability in heterosexual parenting. This is a fantastic point. You often hear the argument that we can't let gay people get married because the best way to raise kids is with a mother and a father. But even if that were the case, how does keeping gay couples from getting married make it more likely that kids will be raised by straight couples? Keeping gay couples from getting married doesn't stop them from adopting or getting a sperm donor or a surrogate. It doesn't even deter them from doing so. What gay person says, well, I want to raise kids with my same-sex partner whom I love, but the government's not going to let us get married, so I'll just dump them and get into a straight marriage. Judge Toro goes on that rather, this prevents children of same-sex couples from enjoying the immeasurable advantages that flow from the assurance of a stable family structure when afforded equal protection under the law. So DOMA, rather than encouraging responsible parenting, actually undermines it. And you'd think that this would be obvious. In fact, because it seems so obvious, I don't think that the people who make these arguments even believe them themselves. The real reason why they want to keep gay couples from getting married is religion, first and foremost. But, like with teaching creationism in schools, they know they're not going to get away with basing public policy on religion. They know that's not allowed. So instead they try to come up with secular arguments for their positions, and they end up spewing a bunch of bullshit.